Hello, April.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Awesome. Hi, welcome everyone. It is 10:44 and I'm happy to spend another morning with you guys talking about the Nvta certification. I know we've got about less than a minute until we get started, which is a-okay, but this is
Perfect.
another Q&A session, which means I am here to answer all of your questions and put to ease any concerns you have about the certification course. I do not have a formal presentation for you, but I'm happy to just kind of talk through things, whatever that might look like. So it is 10:45 on my side now. I'm Central Time. It might be time for you all, but it's 10:45 Central Time here. So let's go ahead and get it started. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, or this is a small enough group. If you just want to speak it out loud, I think we'll be able to do that.
Okay, April, may I start? I just want to confirm all my questions that I made 2 days ago. I am interested to start next Monday, and it is just about the certification. What I understood is that if I am not interested with the credits, about the university, because I don't need it. I don't need these credits. I already have the master degree and I am interested to continue with the PhD. And I think that it is for me the good option, the certification, the other one, and it is the same.
That's right. You would just select the certification course only, not the certification course with the 3 graduate course credits. So I'm going to share my screen and show you what you can expect to see from that. So when you go to I'll actually back it up so you can see how I even got here. When you are on the homepage of virtualteacherassociation.org, then this is what you'll see. When you go to the very top, that red button that says Get Certified, when you click on that, it brings you to this landing page. And it tells you a little bit about us, why we should get certified, the board. And then at the very bottom, it lets you select one of 3 options. The Nvta certification course and graduate credit doesn't sound like that's for you. So you'll likely pick either this one for $5.99 up front or the 3 payments. But yes, all 3 of these will result in the certification. And this is what we want you to pick as one of these. The graduate credit, just so that everybody else knows, should you choose to do that one, it has 4 extra readings and assignments. And after you get your certificate, you are required to pay $165 directly to Adams State University. Nvta gets none of that money. And that is just to basically get your transcript to say you were a student and that you've completed 3 graduate credit hours. But this is the one that will result in a certificate indicating that you are nationally recognized as a highly qualified virtual instructor.
Okay, and it will take about from your experience 3 or 4 months or 3 or 4 months to finish, and after that we receive the certification and we receive $200 back.
Right.
Okay?
So yes, on average, people are completing the course within 3 to 4 months. You have a total of 9 months to complete the course. So when that time comes, I will be sending you emails. In fact, I tend to send emails. A new practice has been that we send emails 2 months before your deadline, 1 month before your deadline, and 2 weeks before your deadline. Letting you know, like, we are on top of this. We want you to finish. So here's how your time's looking. So we'll definitely keep you in the loop. The same time, we ask if things happen to you outside of your control. We know life happens. Let us know why you need an extension, perhaps, and we will do our best to work with you on that. But yes, as soon as you complete it, what happens is you say, great, I've done all the assignments, I finished all the discussion boards and the readings, my portfolio is ready to be submitted. You will then email me a link to your portfolio. I will then send it off to the evaluation panel. They have 2 weeks to evaluate it because it is a lengthy process to look at every single assignments you did. Once they finish your evaluation, if you pass, they will say, here is your certificate. Once you have that certificate, we let HR know at Proximity that you've received your certificate. They immediately initiate a $200 reimbursement. I've seen it within 24 hours most of the time. So that $200 reimbursement is immediately initiated. The 5% raise will happen on any of the live classes that you teach, I think, that semester forward. So you will start to see that raise happen quickly. The reimbursement happens immediately too.
April, one more question.
Mm-hmm.
I finished the one that is the free one. Do you think that I will have an advantage if I already finished that or not? Advantage?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So basically the free course was just to let you know it was really basic. So yes. I felt like if you were able to get through that and you're like, oh, this was a piece of cake, then you are in a good position to start that course. If you took it and you're like, I'm overwhelmed, this is really difficult, I had no idea, then the course is going to take you longer to get through.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. Any other questions? I'm going to pop in the chat. I do see some things. Okay. And make sure people are still entering. It says, I think it's a great idea. They did a 2-year degree already with the University of California. Many teachers work here in California with connections, but these classes are focused a lot on differentiation and virtual instruction methods. So it is not identical to what I already did. I am a methods expert, but virtual methods are clearly a bit different than with brick and mortar. So time is an issue, but this is a good thing to pursue, even if you have a PhD. Great, thank you for that feedback, Gloria. I appreciate that. Is there an outline of the topics covered in the course? Yes, there is. So I still have my screen being shared, I believe, and I'm going to show you exactly where you can find that. So let's say you are right here on our homepage, virtualteacherassociation.org, and you'll see, whoops, sorry, at the top it says programs. This gives you a brief overview about the information you'd want to know. How much does it cost? How long does it take? All of that good stuff. But the better place that you might want to click on is where it says learn and connect. Just click those words. Don't pick one of those hover menus. And right here, not only do we talk about the expectation of earning an 80% or better, but this is the outline that you're asking for, Susie. So this outlines all of the topics that you're going to learn once you're in the course. And then I also have on here this frequently asked questions tab. So if you click on that, you'll see we've divided out our frequently asked questions by programming, technical support, education, and employment. So you might find some answers to questions you have in this FAQ page. I will also, because I'm seeing right now that we don't have a lot of questions that are popping up in the chat, and I do want this to be a good use of your time. So I'm actually in the course right now. So this might be helpful to you, Susie. This is what the course looks like when you sign up for it. So here you see the course curriculum, and then here is all of the course curriculum. Some things to note is as you complete something, it'll put a little check mark so you can keep track of all the things you've already finished so that you can leave, come back to it the next day and pick up right where you left off. You'll see if it has this little like half moon or half filled circle, that means that's something that you left off on. If it has an open circle, that means you haven't even clicked on this slide yet, or you haven't completed this one yet. And so here you can see you can jump around. So that's a question that I sometimes get is if I get stuck on something like this one, is it okay for me to do it later? Absolutely. You can jump around all you want because you only submit at the very end. You're not submitting things as you go. You submit at the very end. The only thing you submit as you go are discussion boards. So the discussion boards, you're posting and you're responding to posts, and we see that immediately. Once you make that post, I get notified. I see that you've made a post. But all of the lessons, you hold them until the very end, and then you submit one link at the very end. And so if you're like, I don't want to do that. That one sounds like it's going to take too much time. I want to move to something that I can knock out quickly today. You can click on it and you can move on to it. Anything that says lesson at the top, that's a reading. So this is an example of one of our readings. It's only 1 page long. The majority of our readings are 1 to 4 pages. They are not very lengthy. And this is considered your textbook essentially. And so this is where you're getting some information. You also, for example, I'm going to click on this one. This is your first assignment. The very first assignment, besides discussion boards, is a restorative justice circle, narrative, and summary. And this is an assignment about how to implement restorative justice circles in the virtual environment. So here, the first thing they want you to do is watch this video. You can click anything on this slide, and when you click it, it will open up a YouTube video. Then it wants you to read this article. So you click this and it will read, you will read that article. And then it says, these are your action items. So this is what your assignment is. And it is a detailed assignment because it's not a test and it's not a quiz. We don't do any of those in the course. Instead, let's talk through what this is looking for. It wants you to create an informative document explaining what restorative justice circles in the virtual classroom, what that means. And so here's what we need to see in your document. We need to see when you plan on using restorative justice circles, who do you include, what are the goals that you're going to have around that for your classroom, and what are the rules for implementing it. So in your mind, you can think, okay, I need a document with these 4 headings: using restorative justice circles, who is involved in restorative justice circles, the goal of restorative justice circles, and rules for implementation. So that's one document. Now it wants you to include an addendum that you're going to share with your administration only. So not something that you make available to all of your students, your families, your everybody, but something for administration saying, these I understand are the circumstances in which restorative justice circles just will not suffice as the sole response. So for example, we have a 0 tolerance policy for something. Like if you're actually at a school district, this is an example. You could be doing a hybrid class. And if somebody still does something with weapons, if they wave a gun on the screen, what do you do about that? And so maybe that's a time where we can't use restorative justice circles. And so this is something that we want you to include as an addendum so that we make sure we're checking all the boxes. Then after you write this multi-page narrative, we want you to, because so this multi-page narrative is this part, the document plus an addendum. Those are 2 parts of the assignments. The third part of the assignment is creating a 1-page summary made for students. So we say, consider using an infographic or some visually appealing thing. Kids don't want to read, a 1-page Times New Roman size 12 font, double space, college looking essay, right? They want something that looks fun and exciting. So how can you share with students this idea of restorative justice circles in the classroom in student-friendly language, something you can apply immediately to your classroom? That's the purpose of this assignment. So the purpose of every assignment is for you to be able to immediately apply it. And so this is an example of one assignment. I hope that's helpful. Just so you know, we also talk about FERPA in the virtual classroom. We also talk about serving students who are English language learners in the virtual classroom. We also talk about serving students with disabilities in the virtual classroom. So this is going it's going deeper than what you for sure saw in that free professional development course. I'm going to go back to the chat and see what else people might have been dropping in here. Says you've done about 15 methods courses. This streamlines hybrid and virtual, many different categories. Thanks, Gloria. Is it beneficial to read the text before, during, or after? Great. So basically, I think when I established this course, I put them in the order that it made the most sense. So I would, if you have the time, to just go through step by step. And the way you can do it is once you've read something, like you read all of these, you can hit complete and continue, and it'll automatically take you to the next thing. Once I've read all of those, I can hit complete and continue, and now it's taken me to a discussion board. And to me, it made sense to read those things before answering the question to that discussion board. Sometimes you'll feel the discussion board is like, oh, well, I didn't need to read anything to answer this. This is just asking for something I already had. That's fine. But to me, it seems like it's beneficial to read it in order. But again, there's no rule and I'm not there to watch you do it. So if you find that that's not serving you in your best interest, then you don't have to do that. Is it important to buy the book? Good question. So this is the book that we have available. Virtual Instruction Standards. It's available for $9.95 on Amazon, both this paperback version or an e-version. You do not need the book for this course at all. This book is more to understanding the rubrics. So I know you've been hearing a lot about the rubrics that you're going to be evaluated on this year for formal observations and walkthroughs. Those are all created by Nvta, the same people right here who creates this course. We made all of those rubrics as well. We made this book to support your understanding of all the free rubrics. All of those rubrics are free. We are not charging people for rubrics because those should be the standards of high quality virtual instruction, and we want every single person to have it. We can't make every single person certified because not everybody is that level of interest in doing it. So that's why there is a charge associated with the course, but it's absolutely not. That's not something that you have to have. It's something we encourage you to have. The rubrics, everybody has to have, so they are absolutely free. This is just if you want to dig deeper into them, but you don't have to buy that book. Good question, though. I appreciate Gloria's feedback on critical thinking, current cultural events, and flipping social justice issues. Really appreciate it. Mary, you bought the book, you like it. Great, thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate that feedback. The legal part matters because FERPA is really important. Absolutely. It looks so interesting. Love that it's practical. Awesome. We may know a lot already. Just needs to know certs like how many exactly. Just so that you guys know, I absolutely relate to you. I know where you're coming from. I was a teacher for many years. I've worked at the campus district and state levels of education. I have a doctorate, 3 master's degrees. I'm also certified in about 9 different teaching areas, have my principal certification and my superintendent certification. So I am definitely deeply immersed in the educational world. And I tell you all of that so you know that I know where you're coming from. I've been in your shoes. I absolutely know what it's like to have to go with the flow, think quick on your feet, and be able to just be flexible and respond to whatever your district's requesting of you. So I get it. I also am ESL certified, special ed certified, GT certified, and a lot of other things. So I'm right there with you guys. All right, Gloria, thanks so much for your continued feedback. I appreciate your activity in that chat. Does anybody else have any questions that I can answer for you? Happy to answer all of your questions. You can drop it in the chat or you can unmute yourself if you would like to just ask out loud. No, this is your time. I believe this is my last session for this week. I know you guys have had jam-packed days. So if you don't have any further questions, I will absolutely be happy to give you back about 12 minutes of your day to go grab a snack. Gloria, it says some brilliant people are challenged to understand learners with challenges. We all have to be ready to serve all pupils. Absolutely right. I agree with you. All right. Well, I'm going to hang out here for a little bit, but at this point, it sounds like there are no more questions. If you want to just hang out and ask me a personal question, you're welcome to do so. You can private chat me. You can wait and see if everybody else signs off and you just say something out loud. That'll work too. So I will hang out. All right. Yeah, thank you, Regina.